20 years at least. I mean, you have a legal obligation to take care of the kid for like 18 years. But if you would be fair, it's gonna be last a lot longer than that. So yeah, there's no way you can control that experiment. The risk is just enormous. I can't think of a analogy that would make that would do justice for that. I mean, driving a medieval carriage with plutonium barrels that was in flames, and there were people shooting me with machine guns, and also like doing that in the middle of the world's biggest highway, and people would be driving around me, and I mean, the risks are totally in a different category as when driving a car. You drive a car, you can pretty easily make it safe, or reasonably safe. But with having a kid, you can't make it safe. It's impossible.
Argument that this is unacceptable.
I have only 1 minute left, so I'll try to hurry.
Yes, most antinatalists that I've encountered more recently, there seems to be a strong suicidal theme in some of the antinatalists.
Well, yeah, but it's pretty it's it's not really fair to say that. Yeah, well, we threw you here, but we imposed on you, and now you're alive, but you're gonna have to kill yourself because it's creating risk.
Heroin church, but in general they reject that as no, it's not at all the same thing. They don't accept that that's a consistent argument to make.
Well, it's a totally different caliber of risk, okay? Driving a car, I mean, you're talking about having a kid like it is your daily drive in the car. I mean, that's exactly the problem. Can't you understand what kind of a enormous risk it is, and it serves no function? Okay, I have to put the video on my computer because I'm running out of memory card space. So, okay, well, I didn't want to make this a multi-part video, but I guess we'll just have to do that. So the first part was the deprivation thing. Then there was the car driving, risk thing, and I guess the third thing was about the sterilization thing. I think it's in the other video, but I'll just quickly go over that. Okay, so basically, brokenmech here is saying that anti-natalist, and I guess Barklord is also saying that. I'm not sure, but it seems so. I haven't seen his video, so don't take my word on that. But so basically, brokenmech is saying that anti-natalists should have themselves sterilized because because of their philosophy, and it's pretty ridiculous because let me explain. I mean, I personally, if there was a law that would say that everyone has to get sterilized, then would I vote for that? Yeah, I would, because I can go through that. I can go through with that if it serves such a big greater good. But the thing is, we don't need to put everyone in jail because some of them are murderers. We put the dangerous people in jail. We don't need to what would be a good analogy? Like basically, we really don't need to sterilize everyone. Get it? Like the thing, the sterilization thing is that we don't want to sterilize everyone. We want you to use rubber. We want you to use some kind of use a condom or something. But the thing is, you won't. I mean, these natalist people are like, they won't act responsibly. So we're gonna have to take these drastic measures. It's like saying, with like it's like saying someone like don't murder, okay? So we don't need to put you in jail. Just don't kill anyone. Most people can do that, but then there's some people who don't. Some people who can't act responsibly, then they'll have to kill someone. So yeah, we're gonna put them in jail so that they can't hurt anyone. That's the it's the same thing. Like most people can wear rubber, and most people can act responsibly. But some people won't. Some people just won't, and those people are the ones that need to be sterilized because we've clearly demonstrated that it's wrong to impose life, and they are still like, no, fuck it, I'm gonna impose life. Fuck you, I'm gonna do it, and yeah, so we're gonna have to take drastic measures in that. It's not that, so I don't really see like if there was a law that said everyone had to be sterilized, then sure, well, why not? I mean, it wouldn't be so bad. It wouldn't be that bad, I think. But I don't have kids. I mean, these most of these antinatalists don't have kids. I mean, Metamorph does, but his kids are like 20 years old or something, so he hasn't been an antinatalist for that long now. So yeah, I mean, if people are acting, you don't need to take everyone's driver's license away. You take away the driver's license of the drunk drivers. You get it now? Like you don't need to sterilize everyone. You just sterilize all the irresponsible assholes. So yeah, so I don't want anyone doing surgery on me if it's not necessary. I can act responsibly. You know, I yeah. So as long as people act responsibly, then there's no need for sterilization. But when they start to willfully neglect this responsibility, and they start to when they start drunk driving, then we're gonna have to take these drastic measures.
Um,
Okay,
and
what else? I think.
can you move forward in the discussion about how can you best effect the changes necessary to help people, animals, etc., to endure less pain and suffering
I don't know what this is about.
in life. And I really do feel that antinatalists miss the boat on that, and
What?
in their advocacy for this uh, antinatalist.
So are you like really saying that we could create more good by creating more people because there would be more pleasure or something? I like what?
Approach, and then the more extreme version of anti life altogether.
Anti-natalism is just that. I mean, can't you like I don't get this. Why are people so upset that I mean I was fine with anti-natalism, but extinction, that's just going too far. Like, what do you think is gonna happen if no one has kids? You know, of of course it's gonna lead to extinction. So what the hell? It's not population reductionism. It's anti-natalism, not anti giving birth. It's going to lead to the extinction. And you really don't. I mean, I hope you respond to this in some way because I really would like to see you tackle those arguments.
And calling for the extinction of life.
And the thing is, I usually like to play safe in this. I like to be on the safe side. Better safe than sorry, and that all thing. So basically, you know, let's take the meat eating example. I would, you know, even if conditions of animals in slaughterhouses and farms, and if the conditions got a lot better, I still wouldn't support that because I don't want to take the risk that they are suffering in there. It's unnecessary, so I wouldn't take the risk. Same thing with the life thing. it's unnecessary, so I really don't want to take that gamble. So yeah, just like I don't squash bugs for fun because I don't really know how much they feel. So I really don't need to do that. So this life thing is, of course, this child birthing thing is in totally another dimension of risk and harm. But yeah, it serves no purpose, so why take a risk? Uh, I totally forgot what you were talking about. Sorry.
Whether it be through the big red button or through just sterilization.
Well, yeah, I mean, just I can't see how anyone can be arrogant enough to think that they are competent to, have a child to, and that they're competent enough to make the life of that child, good, because it's impossible. I mean, it takes a great amount of arrogance to say that, yeah, I can competently raise a child and no one's gonna rape her or him, and no one's gonna rape him, and no one's gonna shoot him in the head, and no one's gonna drive, he's not gonna get into any kind of accidents, and he's not gonna get any kind of illnesses, and his life is gonna be all fine. And I mean, it, yeah, well, try justifying the risks first. I mean, I think that's the way to go, because I stopped eating meat because I couldn't justify it. So yeah, I wouldn't have a kid because I really can't justify the risks, because yeah, I think the risk part is the core of the argument. Try to make a justification for the risk, and your justification so far has been that we are creating all kinds of risks, so might just as well create another unneeded risk. I drove a car today and it was risky, so I might just as well have a kid and create more harm and more risk. I mean, that's totally ridiculous logic, and it's not even, you can't really compare those two, driving a car and having a kid. It's not a walk in the, having a kid is not a walk in the park.
Program of the animals, or whatever it is, the big plan to extinguish life.
Yeah, sure, it sounds a bit sci-fi, but
the problem with that is that you then end up in a situation where you actually are opposed to reducing suffering.
How?
For the living, because your goal is to reduce this bigger suffering.
So you're saying that, so what? Exactly, bigger suffering. I mean, so you're saying that by taking away your right, so-called right, by taking away your right to impose, we are, we are imposing on you. Is that it? Like, we're causing suffering to the murderers by telling them not to murder anyone. That is ridiculous. I mean, yeah, sure, some people might have a hard time not being able to have kids, because they'll get all, they have this huge desire to have children, but yeah, I mean, sorry, your trivial desire is not worth the risk. It's not a worthy cause. I mean, that's just completely, that's ridiculous. I mean, exactly, it's greater good, bigger suffering. If we can eliminate this much suffering by causing this much, then yeah, let's do it. If we can... Yeah, I hate that camera. The batteries go so quickly. But yeah, I would have shot Adolf Hitler's mother, because, sure, I would have caused suffering to her, but, 6 million people wouldn't have suffered, or 6, yeah. So, do the math. I mean, because we're all the same, basically. Everyone is the same, So, it doesn't really matter who gets shot, it's still a person getting shot. So, it's the same amount of harm, basically. So, you can't really say that, that particular person is more, they should be able to do this, and because we're basically all the same, so we kill one person and save a million people, it's obviously worth it, just do the math. You can't say, no, this one person is